up, everyone? This is episode 37 of the Glimmer cast, and we are ramping back up on our gaming news discussion with, of course, one of my favorite franchises of all time, Pokemon. So yeah, I'm joined by a full panel of awesome folks that you may not even realize are actually like pretty big Pokemon fans. So yeah, we got ChillMonger, we got Phil in the house, and we also got Rufio from Lost Boys Gaming joining us today. Phil, how are you doing? I'm
good. I actually just finished up Community Day. I got, oh shit, my pizza just fell. See if you guys can see it. Kind of, sorta.
Sick.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
Shiny Hydreigon. Yeah, I got that. Got some pretty cool dinos too. Evolved them into some regular.
Is that how you pronounce that? D-I?
It's Dano or Dino. I don't quite remember what the exact pronunciation is, but yeah.
They
I thought I would
always
get my
have to do
answer.
something weird. Like, it can't be like phonetically this as like a regular word. It has to be like some weird twist on it. But yeah, if it's Dano, I wouldn't be surprised. Chill, did you participate in that event today?
I sure did. I got many of them. The thing is, I've got to check them to see which has the right stats and everything, because like 2 hours into the community day, I had to begin my weekly stream, and I wasn't going to push back my stream for Pokemon, so I'm not that big of a fan.
Oh, fair enough. And yeah, Rufio, Lost Boys Gaming, welcome back to the channel. How have you been?
Thanks. Good. Thanks for having us. Excited.
Of course. Yes, I'm super pumped. So I'm not like as big into Pokemon Go like at all as much as y'all, but I know that it's still newsworthy. I know still like millions of people have been playing it for years and years, so we're definitely going to cover that. But the biggest, newsworthiness that we're gonna get into is definitely all of the hype around Pokemon Scarlet and Violet as well. And if we have time, we'll definitely touch into some speculation and rumors and stuff that I know, Rufio, you've been covering really heavily on your channel, and especially in regards to what we can expect for potential announcements coming from Nintendo in the future possibly. So yeah, we will get right into it. So yeah, as far as Phil, I didn't really get a chance to talk with you at length about your thoughts on Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. I know that it might not have been like the announcement you wanted when it came out in February, but has that changed for you at all in the last few months?
Well, I mean, I think we kind of talked about it a little bit. We were pretty heavy into Legends Arceus, and we were kind of hoping maybe they were going to do some kind of DLC for it like they did with Sword and Shield. They did not do that. They just went ahead and announced Generation 9. So I've kind of warmed up to it. I think the legendary Pokemon look pretty sick, all things considered. And I actually think, I don't know if it was confirmed or not, but I did see what was believed to be a leak of the final starter for Sprigatito, the grass-type Pokemon.
That's what Chill mentioned to me as well, the final evolutionary form, I guess. And I think the final form of the fire starter as well was leaked, which I did pull up a tab for.
I didn't see that. That's interesting.
I couldn't find any info on Sprigadito, though. Rufio, did you catch wind of this rumor or this leak?
Yeah, so there was one. If the one you look at, I'm assuming this is the one. It's like looks like Robin Hood type of a deal. He's got like a mask and like a cape. He's like floating.
I don't really recall. I
so
saw it on
that
Twitter
one.
in passing.
Yeah, so there's been a couple. So that was a video. So that one was confirmed to be fake. It's just fan art. And then there's another one more recently that was like a Lynx type of a looking one. Like their arms are crossed and it's got some like pointier ears. That one also came back with some issues potentially with the Japanese translation. So most people like that one's not necessarily confirmed as fake, but just with some of the translation that some of the community was pointing to that spoke Japanese or knew Japanese. They were thinking that it's more fake as well. So there it potentially is real, I guess, but no one's quite sure on that one. But most people are leaning towards that being fake as well.
Yeah, like for me personally, like I haven't followed too many of the leaks and speculation as far as like the evolutions. I like to go into new gens just with as little information as possible. Oh, it looks like the image isn't loading here, but yeah, I can try to find it later. I do want to try and pull up the images of the starters though, just for folks who may not have been following the latest news yet. So I will find that. And yeah, we can get into, our thoughts on the starters and the legendaries. I do have images of them pulled up too. So I will go ahead and screen share. Oh, go ahead.
When do they finally give a starter that isn't fire, water, grass, and they actually, diversify? Maybe psychic, fighting, flying, something that adds up also where there's weak against the other?
Well, like, to be fair, they have done dual types a few times, right? Like, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, pretty much pretty much every starter has a dual type. So, well, like even if you go back to Gen 1.
Like Venusaur was grass and poison, and
Venusaur's grass poison. Yeah, Charizard's fire flying.
But Generation 2, they all stuck with their
they were
original
fire.
Then, yeah, that's true.
They were straight.
That's true.
And then we had in the Galar region, everyone was only their original typing also. But every other generation, they switched it up. The Kalos one, where everyone had 2 types, it was interesting because they all like fought against it wasn't just a super effective against another, it was a double super effective. So Psychic and Fire would have kicked the ass of the fighting grass type, and then
Greninja was a water dark type, which effectively beat the snot out of the fire psychic type.
You see, that was a good little synergy thing that they had there. So let's just do that, like dark, psychic, and fighting.
Greninja was actually super broken if you got its
hidden ability
Protean, yeah.
Oh, Protean.
Because that allowed it to whatever it's.
Oh, you don't gotta tell me. I loved that ability. That was so, and you could start it off with like a sucker punch, and then you'd hit it with the water shuriken, like moves that are guaranteed to go first. So you always controlled the battles. Amazing.
Right. Yeah, I love Greninja with Protean.
Do we have any thoughts around these starters? Do we feel like, this is like
Team Quaxley?
Anticlimactic, or is it more or less like what we would expect? Because I think I've come to expect some sort of like canine or feline starter at every generation, at least one, and I was surprised that they actually made that into the grass type here for Sprigadito. I usually don't go for grass types just because they tend to be on the weaker side, even though they do level up a little bit faster and they're easier to train. Their attack base is just oftentimes not there. But yeah, no, I'm definitely gonna be team Sprigadito for sure. And Chill, you said you're team Quaxley?
Yeah.
How about you, Rufio?
I think I'm going Fuecoco this time. I'm usually a fire starter guy. I mean, I was a Charizard fanboy, so I mean, I've always kind of gone with the fire through Typhlosion, even Gen 2. So I'm going Fuecoco, I think.
Tiebreaker.
Yes, Phil, how about you?
I'm a fire starter all the way. I have a Charizard tattoo on my right leg, and I have started with fire types every single game. So
Really?
Oh yeah, every game, every single game.
Would you ever like trade the other versions just so that you'd have all 3, then you do your playthrough?
Through the years, yeah. I mean, I have friends who play other versions of the version that I wouldn't get, or sometimes I'd get both. I think
I've been there. I loved getting both.
I think with X and Y, I for sure got all 3 starters.
Oh, what did you do in X and Y when they let you choose the original games? Did you also choose a fire starter?
No, I think I chose Blastoise in Y, and then in X, I got Charizard because Charizard X rules.
I'm also going to pull up the legendaries, which I know that we are all pretty stoked on for the most part. Like their design and
the story behind it. One of them is futuristic. It's even got some LED eyes. The second one is an older one. Yeah. So the dichotomy, if that's the word, is there.
Yes.
Is the word?
Yeah, even with the professors, one's like more geared towards a more prehistoric age. The other one is definitely a lot more futuristic in style. So.
Oh, that's a good point. Names, I do see that. Yeah.
Like Professor Sada and Professor Turo. So like if you're going Spanish, you got Posada and Futuro. So they're leaning heavily into past and present, or past and future, I guess.
So Koraidon appears to be the Scarlet legendary, and Miraidon is the Violet one. And to ChillMonger's point, Scarlet is more of like the past, like prehistoric era design, and the more future adjacent one is going to be with Pokemon Violet, and that's actually the version I'm going to get. I just like a color preference, really. That's, there's no other real logic behind it. I would prefer to have the female professor. I like that there are 2 different professors and they appear to be version exclusives to one another. I like that she is more like in alignment to like a prehistoric theme as well. But yeah, I want to pick Violet because I enjoy that color. How about you? How about you, Phil?
I'm definitely going Scarlet because I played Red, played Fire Red, I played Ruby, I played I want to say Pearl. Yeah, that sounds right. And Silver. So I'm going with Scarlet. Because the legendary looks awesome. And I think this is kind of evocative of, kind of harkening back to the red and blue. It's just a different kind of hue of red and blue as opposed to like, straight up red. It's scarlet instead of blue. It's a little bit more purpley violet. But definitely going with Scarlet.
How about you, Rufio?
I'm going Violet this one, actually. So I think just the Miraidon just looks so cool. I mean, I'll pick up both versions, but I think on the first playthrough, I'm going to go Violet.
Are you getting the dual pack? Oh, sorry, Chill.
Yeah, I'll get the dual pack.
Nice. Oh, go ahead, Chill.
Well, I was only because I thought you guys were done. I was gonna say, yeah, I got the same answer, so I'll get the Scarlet game. But if it's a good game, yeah, definitely I'm gonna pick up Violet. I love spending money on good things. Like if Pokemon is not a disappointment like it sort of was before in a couple prior games, then yeah, I'll get both versions.
Yeah, I was actually kind of surprised that they are still, pumping out content for Sword and Shield to an extent. Like once I put down that game, I never really picked it back up. Even after I got the expansions. I mean, I wanted to like it because I love Pokemon, right? So I'm willing to, forgive some, annoyances here and there. But if I just physically am not enjoying playing this game and it feels like a chore, then I have to, kind of stop myself there. That wasn't the case with Legends Arceus though. I got maybe over 80 hours into that, no problem.
Nice.
Within the first month and a half that I got that game. And
did you run into any shiny Pokemon while you're playing Legends Arceus?
No, I did not. Yeah, I did not encounter any shinies. Rufio, how about you? How did you enjoy Legends Arceus?
Oh, I loved it. I mean, to your point too, I put tons and tons of hours, and I still play that game. I do shiny hunt a ton in Legends Arceus. I think the shiny hunting in that game is top notch. It's it's so much better than every other game. So, I mean, that's kind of even though I've beaten the game in the main storyline, you go and you shiny hunt the massive mass outbreaks. So I've done a ton of shiny hunting with it, and I really hope that they bring back the spot in the field shinies for for Scarlet and Violet. They did it for Let's Go, they scrapped it for Sword and Shield, and they brought it back for Arceus. So I really hope that Arceus was a test of sorts for a lot of the stuff that they're going to try to do for Sword and Shield or Scarlet and Violet. So I really hope that they kind of bring back the in the field shiny hunting.
Yeah, I think that there is a lot of really big exploration enhancements and quality of life improvements that we saw in Arceus as far as what is being pushed over into Scarlet and Violet as well. I just wanted to click through the trailer too. Yeah, I mean, I'm optimistic.
You shouldn't be this optimistic because they pull back on features that they introduce in other games all the time.
Yeah.
There's a professor I wanted, but she is exclusive to Scarlet. Oh, and that's the professor for Violet. Yeah, Chill, did you want to kind of talk a little bit more about some of the features that are not going to be in this game that you're kind of, critical about?
The thing is, we don't know. So you guys remember how Mega Evolutions were a thing in 6, and then Z-Moves in 7, Dynamax in 8?
Right.
What is the new thing that they're going to do this time that I'm not going to like? I was in favor of Megas. I wasn't in favor of the other twos. And if a lot of time and resources get spent on this new battling gimmick, which I disapprove of, or which I think is too overpowered or stupid or has a dumb name, or, I'm very hard to please, man. I don't want them to change the game and ruin battling for a whole ass game. I don't want that to happen. I feel like that's what they're going to do. I'm worried for what they do there. Maybe they double down on Megas though. Maybe this is the generation they return to Megas and everyone likes that, but probably not. That's
I don't know. I'm hearing rumors Megas are coming back.
New Megas?
No, so they're just coming back. It'll be Megas again.
All right then.
So there's a guy, I don't know if you guys have heard of Riddler Coup.
I know, I've heard of him. I follow him.
So he's the one who's been kind of teasing that probably we'll see some Megas again. So I don't know. I'm keeping my fingers crossed. I liked Megas.
He also asked, will Sprigatito grow up to be bipedal? And he had a little poll that he asked. Will it be like the snake? Will it be? And we're waiting on the answer to that question. I feel like I didn't even know what the word bipedal meant. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right either. Bipedal. So will it stand on 2 legs? Who cares, guys? These things grow into their final form. Just accept what it will be. It's like having kids. You can care for your kid, whatever, you cannot control what field they grow up to become, or if they're just complete bums. You're gonna love them no matter what. Sprigatito, if that's your thing, Rhea, do you like Sprigatito?
Yes.
Do you want Sprigatito to be on 4, on 2s, or will you love Sprigatito like you love your Riolu? Your baby Riolu?
Yeah, my baby Riolu, like, I'm gonna love them no matter what, because I am gonna spend an exorbitant amount of time, grinding with them. Just like the amount of time I spend with my, my main team of Pokemon kind of influences my, attachment to them and how much I'm like willing to, forgive as far as like if they don't have like the best stats or if they don't have like, like the best evolutions that, I like if I'm assuming that I'm keeping myself away from spoilers to know what the final evolutions are. Yeah, even if they don't end up looking how I, would imagine them, like, yeah, like that amount of time I'm spending with them is still going to impact, me liking them no matter what, if that answers your question.
It answers my question. You see the screen that you got right here with showing the multiplayer aspect of it?
I was about to show, I wanted to talk about this because this is actually a really awesome thing. They're like, if y'all are serious about picking up this game later this year, like, this is something that is actually going to compel me to be more of a multiplayer with Pokemon, because up until now, it's been a largely like solitary experience for me. But what are your thoughts on it, Chill?
I'm concerned with if they put a lot of time and resources on this feature, but it's one of those things that I don't use, like when you pet your Pokemon so that it'll be happier in battle. Like, I don't use those things. So if the co-op rewards are stupid things like you get a potion, you get a berry, then like what is the point of this? They do gotta like incentivize us to play co-op mode.
I mean, with the Dynamax raids, I think those are the ones from Sword and Shield, right?
Right.
Like, those were like highly rewarding, I think. Lots of really hard to find items like TMs, some rare Pokemon as well. So I found it worthwhile. It was just pretty, what is the word? It was really like time consuming to have to, grind and look for, battles for, quote unquote higher end Pokemon to get like, higher up rewards and things like that. It was never, formulaic or something that you could be, predictive about. So that's kind of why it was a cool feature. It just, didn't add to the quality of life for me too much. And then I just ended up going back into my solitary grinding experience, playing Pokemon alone. And then I realized it's not the best gen for me to stay motivated to play it as long as I have others. So I ended up capping at around maybe like 70 hours or so. That's probably like the least amount of time I've ever given into a Pokemon game personally. But yeah, Rufio, what are your thoughts on like the multiplayer aspect? Are you excited on it? Are you critical of it?
I think I kind of agree with like what ChillMonger is saying, and like I hope that they make it good, but that they don't. I mean, I worry that they could screw it up because they try to do it in Sword and Shield a little bit. And, like, you're out in the field and you can see their players, but it's like so laggy. And like you'll see people pop up and then disappear, and then they'll be in somewhere else, And so I think that if they just have to get it right, and I think that hopefully that they haven't teased it and then like they kind of drop the ball on it. I hope that they do, like, to that point, make it more incentivizing to play. Like, hey, let's actually do it and get cool rewards for doing it, and that it's a smooth experience too. That it's not like jumpy, and there's not like you see random people running around in the open world. Like, I want to be able to see my friends running around pretty smoothly, and like be able to have a more fluid experience with it.
Totally. And yeah, Phil, how about you? Are you more of like a social Pokemon player, or do you kind of stick to yourself as far as that goes?
I mean, I kind of go back and forth. I have a circle of friends that we continuously play Pokemon with each other. I know my best friend and I, we traded back and forth a lot in Legends Arceus. Sword and Shield, I'm kind of with you in that I invested time into it, but I fell off of it after a certain point. It felt like a mixed bag. It was definitely a step up from Sun and Moon. I think Sun and Moon are absolute trash Pokemon games. But when it comes to
Couldn't
this...
agree more.
Dude, I hated Sun and Moon so much, and I love Pokemon.
That was such a, like, it was just a challenge to get through that as well. I don't know why. Like, I liked that they were trying. They were trying new things. They tried to make islands instead of gyms, and I was with them up to a point, but the actual execution of it, like, okay, yeah, all these fresh ideas, but the actual execution is like, eh.
But it was pretty bad. But this, Yeah, I'm game for it. I mean, I'm pretty open-minded when it comes to a lot of Pokemon decisions, even though it might disappoint me in the end. But this one, I'm kind of with Lost Boys Gaming in that, you know, they kind of have to really solidify how they're gonna do this multiplayer aspect, because, you know, Sword and Shield, they had it, you know, it was very glitchy. It looked glitchy, at least. I don't know if that was the case, but like, you know, you saw other players, but then you wouldn't see other players, and it would just be like they'd just run around. If you couldn't walk up to them and be like, do you want to trade? Do you want to battle? Whereas here, it kind of looks like they might be able to, it might be a more local multiplayer, or you might have to set up a room or something, and you and a couple friends get to go through the story, maybe. I don't really know, but I'm hopeful, maybe a cautiously optimistic, still hopeful.
One thing I did want to call out too, that I just just pulled up this frame for, was the open world aspect. Seems like, okay, you can encounter Pokemon in real time, similar to how you do in Legends Arceus, and they still kept the turn-based combat. So,
Yeah.
do you have any thoughts around that, Rufio? Would you rather it be like real time combat in addition to the real time encounter, or are you fine with the turn-based combat?
I mean, I think I'm fine with turn-based combat. That's how Pokemon's been. I don't think that's ever going to go away. I wish that they would. The one thing I do wish they would do is like you could still throw the Pokeball like you did in Arceus, and that it was like you weren't. I hope that it's not like when you encounter a Pokemon that it kind of cuts to like the new screen or whatever, like they've done the previous. That it was a lot more fluid. Like it was, if you wanted to run away, you could literally just start running, and your Pokemon would end up coming back into the Pokeball. I don't know if that's what they'll do. I do like that. I just hope that it's still like you encounter it or whatever, but it's not like some big cut screen and cut scene or whatever to do the encounter. But I guess we'll see. But I don't think turn-based is ever going to go away. I think that's kind of how Pokemon's built their whole mechanic for forever. And I think with like the VGC tournaments and stuff and like the TCG stuff, that they're going to always stick to turn-based.
If you rewind the trailer to where you're battling Lechonk, I think there was a button that said run, and I don't remember Legends Arceus having that. All you got to do was actually run. There wasn't a button, was there?
No, there wasn't a button.
Yeah,
Oh, wow,
that
okay.
answered that question.
Yeah, I get what Rufio is saying, though. It kind of like breaks the not like the immersion, but the pace is kind of like broken a little bit, and it kind of feels like a drag from going to this more fast-paced, ability to play the game in Legends Arceus, and then kind of regressing back into this this play style. It's
That's
like
exactly the word.
regressing. Like once you like experience being able to like just run out of the the battle arena at your leisure, like it's hard to go back. So yeah, this is a little disappointing now that like we kind of discussed this, but it's not like a deal breaker for me. I would have liked for them to have kept the ability to run away from the arena, especially if like let's say like my Pokemon's like poisoned or burned or something, and like I don't have any items to heal them. I would love for that feature to escape the arena like right away to be available, because sometimes, like I'm sure y'all have seen this too, where you can't escape for some reason. Either the Pokemon is like too high, the Pokemon you're battling is like either too strong and it's kind of compelling you to stay and battle it, or like the game is just like yeah, no, you can't escape for whatever reason if you're like equal level or the other Pokemon is higher level than you. So that kind of sucks. But yeah, let's see. Your average gamer, what's up? Journey to 500. We almost there? Oh yeah, I'm almost at 500. About to get that community tab. Yes. And I love that Ads is dropping all these awesome Pokemon quotes. Even if we don't understand each other, that's not a reason to reject each other. There are two sides to any argument. Is there one point of view that has all the answers? Give it some thought. Yes, that's some quality in-game dialogue right there.
Do you remember the Dark type Elite Four? Was her name Karen? She was like, just choose your favorite. You probably know the quote, but that was a good one.
From Gold and Silver and Crystal. Yes, I remember her very well. Yeah. She barely had any dark types, though. She had one Umbreon and then all these other, like, poison, ghost types.
Yeah, I think her team was, let's see, she had Umbreon, Murkrow, Houndoom, Vileplume, and Gengar was her squad.
Oh,
she had a Gengar?
She had 3.
I think she had a Gengar.
Okay. That was like the gen...
else.
That was the gen dark types, like, and Steel came into play, so... But yeah, she had 3 of them, actually. That's not too bad.
A side note, no one's asking, but you mentioned Steel. Klefki is the worst Pokemon. Anyways.
Klefki.
Prankster Klefki is actually pretty cool in competitive battling.
They're like 4 times as weak against fire, though, right? Because steel and fairy.
No,
I don't think
fairy
fairy's not weak to fire.
attacks will be weak against the fire guy, but the fire is not super effective against fairy.
Oh, okay, cool. Thank you for clarifying. But yeah, I am just kind of scrolling through the trailer.
Thank you for clarifying.
Clarifying. Oh my god, get out of here. I'm gonna boot you.
You said something earlier, Rhea, about a deal breaker for a game. I think any new generation, there is no deal breaker. I will always buy it. Like if I bought Galar, I will buy it all because the trees, the no Pokemon, no Pokédex, complete Pokédex, national Pokédex, sorry. And I was like, I don't want to buy it. I want to buy it. Months later, I bought it. So there's nothing that they can do that won't make me buy a Pokemon game. I know that.
Oh, Tank, to answer your question, yeah, he's from Cinemassacre, right? So, yeah, I know that he collects everything Gengar related. When I used to watch Cinemassacre a whole lot, and he would be in content on that channel. So he would always have, like, Gengar shirts, hats, and stuff. That's pretty cool. And Ad says, do you always need a reason to help somebody? Oh my gosh, these are the questions, though. Like, Pokemon is so profound. I don't think it as a franchise gets enough credit as far as like how deep and philosophical and overall thoughtful the writing is in the games. Like most of the time I'm kind of like clicking through, speeding through the dialogue, but lines like this, especially like from like the older games too, like Chill, to your point, the Elite Four Karen line, that one stuck with me like ever since I was a kid, so that's how I could remember it so well. Taint says, I don't know if that's cool. The Gengar stuff is cool. I mean, I consider it cool, but I mean, I find a lot of like weird geeky stuff cool, so yeah.
Ash recently got a Gengar in the new Journeys TV show.
Oh, do you still follow that?
I started watching it while I was at work. I cleared through Journeys and now I'm on to Master Journeys. It's pretty interesting. Like they really kind of turn the clock back a little bit, but they keep everything canonical, even though Ash is still 10 years old, which doesn't make any sense to me whatsoever. But he gets a lot of cool Pokemon, like he wound up fighting an egg with a Riolu. He caught a Gengar that was causing mischief around the new lab that he's hanging around. He got a Draco fish from Galar region. He caught a Dragonite. There's 2 other Pokemon I think that he gets too, and
Lucario?
Well, the Riolu evolves in Lucario. And he's, of course, Pikachu's the main staple. But I think he gets one other one. It might be a dragon type. Let me take a look. So I use Cerebi for everything.
If it wasn't for this podcast, I wouldn't have any clue like what big Pokemon nerds Phil and ChillMonger are, because they usually talk about like general pop culture stuff, almost never like video game stuff on their respective channels, which are linked in the description, by the way. So yeah.
He gets a Galarian Farfetch'd that evolves into a Sirfetch'd. That's what it is.
Totally. But yeah, I wanted to freeze frame on this. I don't recognize this Pokemon from any other gen, unless it came from Sun and Moon, and I just don't remember.
It's actually Galar. That's colossal.
It's from Galar. Got it. Yep. Okay. And Ad says, you see, sometimes friends have to go away, but a part of them stays behind with you. Stop! Oh my gosh.
Was that about Misty and Brock?
I think so.
This has got to be that, yeah. When they originally split up, but then they reunited.
Keep them coming.
Love it, Ads. Yeah, I'm gonna click through the rest of the trailer. I do remember this Pokemon from Galar, so yeah, I do recognize that one.
I thought that one was from Sun and Moon, or maybe it might be from Galar. No, I think
you're probably right. Sun and Moon. Okay, yeah. Sorry, my brain. Those 2 gens, they're just hazy memories of just like. Right. A chore to get through, so apologies.
I thought I was the only one. Like the first 6, I can tell you their names easily, but then it gets really hard.
Yeah, what I also liked about Legends Arceus was being able to, I could like encounter like a final stage evolution Pokemon like a Gengar or any other evolution or final evolution like that would usually require like a trade, like a Golem, for example, or Alakazam, like Mega Alakazam. I would grind with my encounters with this like random Alakazam encounter like in Legends Arceus all the time, and it was such a great way to get lots of experience points and stuff like that, because I think they were like level 8, level 70, and they would drop a lot of like really cool items too. So I'm really hoping that they continue to have like these higher evolution Pokemon encounters in the wild as well.
It'd be nice to have the ability to press A whenever you want to evolve, rather than, oh look, here's the evolution screen. Just let the Pokemon tell you when it's time.
Quality of life improvements right there. That was just a really thoughtful addition to be able to evolve your Pokemon at any time from the menu, or from the Pokemon Select menu. And Taint says, I don't know, if you spend 5 or 6 digits amount of money on a single Pokemon, it's really weird. Oh, you're talking about Pokemon merch collecting. I mean, for me, I have definitely spent that on just like general like video game merch and video game physical products as well. So, you know, to each their own. Hans in the house. What's up, Hans? Good to see you. As 80 says, strong Pokemon, weak Pokemon. That is the only the selfish perception of people. Truly skilled trainers should try to win with all their favorites. Yes.
That's the one.
Karen. Yes, the only good Karen in all of history.
Literally.
Yes. Gosh, I'm really clicking through the trailer that just dropped this month, and yeah, like I am pretty impressed with like the graphic presentation. I know that the criticism, I think, in Sword and Shield and then into this generation has been the amount of empty space, like in any Pokemon region, and like the lack of, I guess, like differentiating detail in nature, where like I'm not like a huge nitpicker on graphics and things like that, because I go back and play like 2D Game Boy Color games and, you know, other retro-inspired titles all the time, so I don't personally care too much about graphics. It's only if the game is fun, like, that's the biggest thing for me. But I've seen people like, you know, really like zoom in on like the graphics of Pokemon, see all the pixelation, and, you know, they're like really critical, like, oh, every leaf, every like blade of grass is exactly the same, and they just like copied and pasted it here and here, and like, I'm not super into, you know, that level of detail, and I can appreciate, you know, the thoughtfulness to like bring that up and like hold Nintendo accountable, or, you know, hold Pokemon accountable to, you know, being, I guess, being set in their laurels as far as like their past successes, and not, you know, stepping it up as much as we would like to see. But these types of details, as far as like the graphics, has never been like a big concern for me. What about you, Phil?
Not at all. The reason I love 2D RPGs is because of Pokemon. I have no issue whatsoever with the graphics, and the fact that they use the same digitized pixel for every grass. It's like, yeah, it's to save space. So it's really never been an issue with me. Like right now, I'm actually soft resetting and put in a virtual console Pokemon Crystal so I can get a shiny Cyndaquil. My goal is to actually beat the game with my favorite shiny Pokemon. I know that's a giant task, but it's something I'm trying to do.
When you finally get that shiny and they have like the worst stats, they have the worst nature, yeah, but like you got the shiny that you always wanted, that you've been grinding for hours, so you have to kind of begrudgingly accept it.
See, the thing is though, since it's Gen 2, I don't have to worry about any natures.
That's true. That is true.
Well, when it comes over to your new games, you know, you put it through bank, you put it through home, does it just get a nature? Is that how that works?
Yeah, I think it just randomly assigns one.
Oh, that is a great question. I didn't even, because I personally don't use like Pokemon Home or Pokemon Bank. So that is a good point that you just brought up about pre-nature generations, or
yeah,
like, games.
Because I'm pretty sure like Pokemon Go doesn't give them a nature either, does it? And like if you transfer it to Home or then into, like, you can transfer it to Let's Go, and they should have a nature there, but I think it just randomly assigns it.
Right.
And Hans is saying, my biggest problem with Pokemon is that it's too easy. I want trainers and Pokemon to level with you in some kind of way. I want to battle and have to think of real strategies to do. Yeah, like to Hans's point, I do feel like, you know, generation, like the black and white generations through to now, where the experience share is just sort of like toggled on going forward. That has made the games a lot easier for more casual folks to come back to play. And on one hand, I think it is good to make these games more accessible to newer players, but on the other hand, folks like me who remember, you know, having to grind without any experience share turned on, or any sort of, you know, experience point boosting activities you could do with your Pokemon or items and things like that. I'm sort of finding these games a little less rewarding feeling, as like I'm just able to like just push through the story really really simply. But I think it's kind of compensated a little bit by having higher level Pokemon being encountered in the wild, as well as like a post story that actually has like higher level Pokemon as well, and like more challenging trainers and things like that. So I think Pokemon is trying to find that balance there. But yeah,
my attention is on whether or not they toggle on the experience share like permanently. Like we used to always have the options, but in the last game they said nope, you have experience share no matter what. What would that signal to me if they just gave you the choice all over again? Would be admitting that they're wrong. It would be like the first time they've done that, where they reversed based on like fan outlashing, and that's like probably not going to happen. But if it does, it just changes the game.
Oh, and I didn't get a chance to ask Rufia, what are your thoughts on, holding Pokemon accountable to, stepping up their game graphics-wise or, like gameplay-wise, or are those not super big issues for you personally?
No, I mean, I don't play Pokemon for the graphics. I mean, I never have. Like, to Phil's point, like, I started on Gen 1 on a Game Boy. Like, I wasn't playing that because it was some graphic powerhouse. It was because it was a fun game. And I think, like, yeah, it's cool. It's starting to look nicer. I think that they've shown that they can do a little bit nicer things. Hopefully Scarlet and Violet does look nice, because I think it will bring in a lot more people. But I mean, at the end of the day, people aren't picking up Pokemon because it's looking like Elden Ring, or it's looking like, like some of these other big IP games. It's a fun game. It's more for the strategy. And I think that at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what it looks like as much. Like, yeah, you want it to look good, but I don't think it's not like, I don't care if the grass is all the same across the whole region. So
how about you, Chill? What are your thoughts on Pokemon just sort of like resting in their laurels a little bit and not really stepping up the graphics? Like this graphic, for example, it could easily be a GameCube graphic, but I could care less. Like, I want Nintendo to sell me GameCube games, actually. So this makes me more optimistic for that being a possibility, because I see that the hardware that they're supporting, the Nintendo Switch, can support GameCube graphics. But yeah, exactly. It does feel like Nintendo fans don't really have like a whole lot to be excited for a lot of times. So for me, speaking just for myself, I end up, clapping for, re-releases of games and, remasters of games, and just buying the same stuff over and over again. And on one hand, I can see why, the Sony ponies and the X-Boys are just like all like, clowning on us and dunking on Nintendo
Sony
fans.
ponies.
But I'm just like, bro, like leave me alone. Like this is what I like to game on. Like,
Aside
like,
from the trees,
go cry about it.
the trees are the only issue. But yeah, everything you guys were saying, graphics, sure. Who cares? Give me good gameplay. Absolutely. However, though, the trees thing was a big deal in Galar, because we all saw it and we go, well, these are awful. Well, it's just a trailer. And then we play the game, and every time I crossed one of those trees in the wild area, I was disgusted. Absolutely disgusted.
Can I just say that I'm with Rhea? I want a remaster of Pokemon Coliseum or Pokemon XD, because those games are amazing in every sense of the word, and I miss the crap out of them.
Yeah.
Yes, we do need
sure.
some sort of like Coliseum or Stadium game for the Switch. Absolutely.
Yeah, just some unfinished, or rather finished games, I should say, compared to the unfinished.
They just released Pokemon Snap on the N64 eShop, or whatever, not the eShop, the whatever they have for the Switch. It's like the expansion.
The expansion pack, yeah.
They have it for that, and I'm just like, okay, now do Stadium, and then do a GameCube, and then do Pokemon Coliseum and XD, please.
I love it.
It's Game Freak, though. It is. Yeah, go ahead.
I was just gonna drop another, awesome quote from Ads. A Caterpie may change into a Butterfree, but the heart that beats inside remains the same. Yes, absolutely.
Broke.
Go ahead, Chill.
We're not looking at Nintendo and Pokemon. We should be looking at Game Freak, because they're the guys who develop these games. They're the ones who kind of split their team into two groups. They're the ones trying to make some alternate games that are not Pokemon, because they think they're, good, but they're not. They're really just good at making Pokemon games. And this time around, we've had 2 straight years of them. Oh, wait. 3 straight years, because the Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl game that they gave us, that was Ilka producing it. It wasn't actually them. They were just kind of like, yeah, you're doing that, cool, good job. So that Christmas release came out, and that had nothing to do with what Game Freak was occupying their time on. This game here that we're gonna get, Scarlet and Violet, may actually be finished.
That is a really good point. So I was actually a little skeptical on how many new improvements or like new gameplay features in Legends Arceus we were actually going to get in Scarlet and Violet, because when they announced it, I had like basically I was still like deep into playing Legends Arceus. So to ChillMonger's, theory about Scarlet and Violet kind of, already being in like, gold, basically like ready to, ship or whatever, like, yeah, I was a little skeptical on how many of those new features that I was so used to in Arceus being present in this new game, but it seems like they at least kept the wild encounter rate, or like the wild encounter feature to walk up on Pokemon there. But yeah, some of the other features that we mentioned as well, not being able to leave the arena when you want, and at least the multiplayer aspect is fascinating. I do hope, to Phil's point, that the whole lag issue and like playing online will be improved as well, and like these group experiences are a little bit more rewarding and a little more seamless to get through than the whole Dynamax encounters were. So yeah, that's my 2 cents on that. Let's see. Taint says, do stories in Pokemon games actually matter? Is there a recommended order to play? I am experienced with JRPGs but never played Pokemon. I'm a Shin Megami Tensei and Persona fan. Yeah, the reason I love turn-based RPGs is because of Pokemon. I love Shin Megami Tensei. I absolutely adore Persona. So I guess to your point, there is no like set order that I can recommend playing the Pokemon games in necessarily. I will say maybe a good starting point on like the more classic games, in my opinion, would probably be like Fire Red or Leaf Green. Those have a lot of replayability, in my opinion. Third gen was like probably my favorite generation next to Gold, Silver, and Crystal. There was a lot of improvements as far as being able to go back and battle trainers and being able to like look for like different natures and how they implemented new evolution type strategies for, I think, Melodic. You have to win the beauty contest in order to evolve it. I don't know if that's still the case for like later generations, but I thought that was really interesting. But yeah, those are just some examples off the top of my head. Phil, do you have any gens that you recommend?
I would probably agree with you in that if you really wanted to start somewhere and get a really solid foundation for this series, Fire Red, Leaf Green, Emerald, maybe even Platinum, Heart Gold, Soul Silver, that's probably the best and sound Pokemon ever got, in my humble opinion. To your point, when it came to balance, I think Fire Red and Leaf Green really tried to balance out some of the faults that Red and Blue initially had, because like you mentioned earlier, in Fire Red and the original Red, Blue, Yellow, Gold, Silver, Crystal games, by the time you get to the point where you have to fight the Elite Four, you kind of have to grind if you even want to stand a chance to fight them. Whereas in Fire Red, Leaf Green, you got the new option to utilize the VS Seeker, which allowed you to rebattle characters wherever you were. If you got to I think you get it in Vermilion City. Yeah, that sounds about right. I think you get the VS Seeker in Vermilion City, and that allows you to rebattle characters that you've already battled and kind of makes the grinding a little bit easier.
Yes, yeah, the VS Seeker was definitely something that I greatly appreciated, because right before that, with like Gold and Silver, you would have to call trainers to like set up another rematch, and not everyone would want to rematch you, so it was a drag. How about you, Rufio? Do you have any favorite gens off the top of your head you'd recommend to first timers?
Yeah, I think if you're gonna play for the first time, I would just recommend Soul Silver or Heart Gold. I think those ones were probably my favorite games. And the thing that I really like about that too is that it gives you so much post game. Like you go back to Kanto, so it's like you get 2 regions in one type of a deal. So you still get to experience Gen 1. So I think to that point, Fire Red, Leaf Green were really good too. But if you have the ability to, I know they're crazy expensive online right now, like secondhand. If you can emulate them, great. But I would definitely say Soul Silver or Heart Gold.
The issue with emulating them is you can't carry your Pokemon over to the next, and that's like
right.
What matters.
That's the only downfall. Yeah,
and you've played JRPGs, but you never played Pokemon. You always start with a brand new character with a brand new everything. The only thing you can kind of carry over from the prior ones are Pokemon that you can trade to yourself if you go. Well, there's a different method for every game. So the continuity begins in Fire Red, Leaf Green. So that would be my answer. Generation 3 is where I would start.
Ad says it's more important to master the cards you're holding than to complain about the ones your opponent was dealt. Are we sure that's not a Yu-Gi-Oh quote? The heart of the cards, love it.
Grimsley, that's the Dark Elite Four member from Black and White, if I remember correctly.
He had a cameo in Sun and Moon,
Deep
and I'm
cuts.
like, I think I know you.
That was so goofy. It was super goofy. I don't know why that happened, but yeah, you're right.
Like the Colders cameo in Sun and Moon? No? Huh? I thought it was cool.
Hans is saying, I feel like they could use Arceus to make a game where there are battles and trainers, a combo of all previous games together, have the Pokedex similar to Arceus, because filling the Pokedex that way is a lot of fun. I enjoyed it a lot, and trainers you meet can rebattle you, like Gold, Silver, ? To keep the trainers' battles happening, and also getting harder as your Pokemon grows stronger. I don't know. There's a lot you can do with gameplay and mechanics itself. Graphics can still be 2D still for all I care. GameCube was one of the greatest systems that ever existed. Yeah, Hans, dropping facts. Yeah, I love the Pokedex tasks that you get in Arceus. That's where I spent a large amount of my time, for sure. And I feel like in other generations, I would, catch a Pokemon, evolve it, and never spend any time with it. Whereas with Arceus, I actually was compelled to, spend time with my Pokemon and level them up in order to complete their Pokedex entries. And yeah, even if I didn't want them on my main team, like I was saying, the amount of time I spend with my Pokemon sort of impacts my relationship or my my feelings towards them. So like I said, I do have newfound appreciation for them because the amount of time I put into it, into each of their developments and Pokedex entries and stuff. But yeah, awesome, good insights, Hans. And Ads80 says, we do have a lot in common. The same earth, the same air, the same sky. Maybe if we started looking at what's the same instead of looking at what's different, well, who knows? This has got to be a Pokemon movie, like the first Pokemon movie quote.
Meowth says this in his little New Jersey accent? Is this when Mewtwo was taking over Meowth's voice?
I am drawing a blank on exactly where this quote came from, but I feel like
it's
got to be a
the
Pokemon
first
movie.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's the first movie.
And Taint says, thanks, guys. Yeah, that was a great question, Taint. Thank you so much. And Ad says, in Pokemon Black, White, Black 2 and Black, White 2, Grimsley appears as an Elite Four trainer of Unova. Yeah, Unova. Yeah. Thank you. And yeah,
you know what's crazy about Unova, that region?
Yeah.
It was based off of New York, right? And the place where there's a desert is in New York City, where the Twin Towers used to stand, like Ground Zero. That's what they made a desert in that game.
I did want to try and find the image from Rufio's video on his channel of the leaked Sprigadito Evolution. So this is what we were talking about earlier, y'all, when we were talking about leaks for Scarlet and Violet. And correct me if I'm wrong, but you said that this was debunked, right?
Yeah, this should be just if someone just putting it together on Instagram, I think is what it was discovered to be. So it looks good. I mean, they did a pretty good job at making it look real, but supposedly this is indeed fake.
Interesting. Kind of looks like a Digimon.
Yeah.
Yes, I know, right?
Looks like the Digimon from the third generation of Digimon that they did.
Kyubimon.
What is it? Renamon? Renamon is the yellow fox. Yes, yeah,
yep,
that's giving me big Renamon vibes. Let's see. Han says, Arceus, I felt compelled to use Pokemon I normally would have never used, and I loved it. Yes, exactly, to your point. I definitely appreciate certain Pokemon more now that I completed Pokedex entries with them. Exactly. And I think that the game succeeded in getting us to, or getting me specifically to appreciate more Pokemon that I usually don't have in my main team. Because I was dead set on having a full evolution team, and I still have them as my main team, but then I also kind of alternate between other Pokemon as well now. So yeah, cool. Let's see. As far as other Pokemon news updates, I think I covered most of the points I wanted to get through, but were there any additional ones that y'all wanted to call out, or as far as criticisms on the new generation, or optimism for any speculation that y'all want to dive into? Rufio, if you have any thoughts.
No, I'm just excited. Hopefully next week, if we do end up getting a Nintendo Direct, it's looking like we might get at least a region name based off of the Pokemon Twitter accounts. So hopefully next week we'll at least get a region name to know, because they've been doing like the Visit Kalos, Visit Galar, Visit Johto, whatever. So it lines up with, I think, like the 28th or 29th that we'd see a Let's Visit Gen 9's region. So I'm excited for that. I do hope, I mean, I'm more hopeful, I think, of these games than like I was with Gen 8 with Sword and Shield. So I think that they could do some cool stuff. I think they've showed, hopefully Legend Arceus, they've showed us that they are willing to try to really fix gameplay and to make like a cool, unique experience, especially with an open world. They like hit this open world Pokemon, like this is the first one ever, you know. So I hope that they really kind of lean into it and that it's a good experience and that they've given themselves enough time. That's I guess my biggest worry is if they're just dropping this to drop it, or if they've given themselves enough time to actually put out a finished and polished product.
Totally. And Phil, how about you? Any reservations, criticisms, or hopes for any new news that we will get until the new game comes out?
No, I'm kind of with Rufio in that I kind of hope that they really took their time with this one as opposed to what felt like Sword and Shield, where they made it and just kind of pumped it out without really trying to polish it too much. I really do kind of have hopes that this one is going to kind of maybe push some boundaries a little bit, technically speaking, but it does look like that they are taking some inspiration from a lot of the positive aspects of Legends Arceus, and I do hope that remains in the final game. The starters, I can kind of shrug at, but the legendary ones, I'm definitely looking forward to get capturing. Yeah, I'm intrigued. I'm not disappointed, but we'll see.
Really quick, I wanted to stop at this post because I know, Rufio, you just got one of these new decks. So what is your high-level overview of your experience with it so far?
Oh, it's nice. Like it's actually really cool. I wasn't quite sure what like the size would be, so I'm glad it's like a full-size skateboard too, which is cool. Oh, nice. But it's really nice. It's all handcrafted. I haven't put it together yet. I've still just kind of been staring at it, but too afraid to ride it at this point. But it is sweet. It's a cool experience to open that box and to kind of see what they've done with it.
Totally. Ads 80 saying, a wildfire destroys everything in its path. It will be the same with your powers unless you learn to control them. Giovanni. And ChillMonger, any of this is anything that we covered or that is still on your mind as far as like the new Pokemon generation, like reservations, criticisms, optimistic thoughts, anything else?
Like Phil said, cautiously optimistic, but what Rufio mentioned earlier about how we don't even know the name of the region and we're how deep into it, that's good news. The best news is like the less news we get, the better off I will be and happier I'll be.
And Hans is saying Pokemon needs to add online tournaments. Oh my god, I just thought of this potential, the potential this could have. And Tony Robinson in the house, what's up? Good to see you, Tony. I wanted to pause on this post too because I remember resharing this saying, please, don't let this just be another single evolutionary Pikachu clone, which it probably will be. It probably will be, I know, but still, it's so, for lack of a better word, infantile looking that I can't accept that if it's going to be a single stage or not. It's not going to be worth having on my team because I can already look at it and see that the base special attack and base attack is not going to be worth it to have later on in the game. But it is super cute. Obviously I'm going to buy merch of it, but I just don't like this.
Do you not know
archetype.
about Pachirisu?
I know about all the Pikachu clones. That's why I was
Molga.
I just don't want another one.
Muscle and Minun. Yeah.
But the Korean player with what's his name? Joseph Park. What's his name? Anyone? The legendary.
So he won Worlds with Pachirisu, right?
That guy.
I don't remember his name, but I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Pachirisu and a Garchomp, I think, was it the double battle with the Pachirisu and a Garchomp? Is that what you're referring to?
He
that sounds right.
The world championship with the Pachirisu, exactly.
Because it used the follow me technique.
Yeah, but he won.
Sure. Yeah. Oh yeah. It was a good strategy, being brutally honest.
Oh man. Oh, and our rival. Yeah, I think this is the first time we've ever had a female rival. Not that I'm keeping track or anything. I just wanted to, call that out, Pokemon making moves.
May.
Oh, Oh, you're right. My mistake. Yes, you're totally right.
In a way, May was just the alternate version if you chose the male. That doesn't count. Wally was the rival there.
Eevee got stuck between me and it's still. Yes, yeah, Hans. I totally get what you're saying there. That the Palmy Pokemon that we were looking at that might just be a Pikachu clone or without an evolution. But yeah, if a Pokemon has like the right stats and like the right nature, like I can totally see them, sweeping with the Pachirisu strategy that y'all were calling out. But yeah, I think that about wraps up all the news updates that we have so far. We're still like 5 months or so, or a little less than 5 months away from the new Pokemon game coming out. And I'm sure we're gonna have more news to chat about later on as time goes on. But yeah, this has been awesome. Thank y'all so much for joining me for this quick little like news digest. And yeah, if y'all want to go around, I'll start with Phil. Where can we find you at, and what will you be working on in this coming week?
Well, I appreciate the invite. It's always fun talking Pokemon with anyone, especially you. If y'all want to follow me along, it's just at Unfiltered for Twitter, Vero, Instagram. You can find me on the 4Nerds Network most of the time, mostly Thursdays with our show. You can also listen to my podcast, Superhero Stress, as well as The Eternal Night, which is a straight-up Batman podcast. I really want to try and get back into streaming, but I don't have the setup for it right now. But maybe in the coming weeks, maybe in the coming months. We'll see.
Nice. And Rufio from Lost Boys Gaming, thank you so much for joining me again for another news discussion stream. Where can we find you at, and where will you be working on this week?
Yeah, thanks it was fun to chat with you guys. Yeah, so you just we're mostly on YouTube, just Lost Boys Gaming. And then most of our social media, I believe, is just Lost Boys _gaming. So we're on all the major social sites. But yeah, so this week, we're just kind of keeping our eyes peeled for a Nintendo Direct announcement, possibly. Hopefully we'll hear something on Monday, would be my guess, if they end up do something on the 29th, is kind of rumored. So keep an eye out for that. Keep an eye out for like a region name, hopefully this week as well. And then we're actually playing through Let's Go right now with Ash's team from the anime. So nice. We're only limiting ourselves to just Ash's team from the anime. So we're gonna hopefully end up, right now we're like in Lavender Town, so hopefully we'll go get a Muck and a Krabby soon, so we can actually take the same 6 to the Elite Four that Ash took to Indigo Plateau. So it's been fun. So we'll be throwing those out though.
Yes, I love it. And last but not least, ChillMonger, where can we find you at, and what are you going to be working on this week?
Sorry, what are you doing with a frying pan?
Oh yeah, let me just highlight my cringe quote that I had to drop. I'll make my frying pan into a drying pan.
Very cringe.
I was hoping no one would notice, and then I could just end the stream.
You can find me on the YouTube channel ChillMonger. Every Saturday I do 33 burning questions. This week it was Star Wars related, so you can check out that video, which just ended. And I'll probably talk Ms. Marvel episode 3 on my channel.
Rufio, do you follow any Marvel, DC, Star Wars news yourself?
Yeah, I mean Star Wars and Marvel, I'm a big fan of. I'm not a huge DC fan. I've just been burned by Batman too many times, No,
I'm just curious because obviously I don't see that content on your current channel, but yeah, if I ever wanted to reach out to you to get your thoughts on the new Marvel shows. I don't know if you're following Miss Marvel, or if you watched Moon Knight, or if you're watching anything else currently.
Yeah. Without giving any spoilers away, the last episode of Obi-Wan and the last episode of Moon Knight were both awesome.
Oh, nice. Awesome. So yeah, I will definitely reach out to you too, because I love bringing on folks who I never get to hear about their other nerd interests outside of what they usually cover. Phil and ChillMonger, like I mentioned, they mostly cover movie and TV news stuff. So having them on and seeing what massive Pokemon nerds there are, is amazing. So I definitely want to pick your brain on Marvel and Star Wars stuff too in the future. So
yeah,
that would be awesome. But yeah, thank y'all everyone in the chat for coming through and asking some really awesome questions. And yeah, we're gonna go ahead and play out the show. And thank you to my awesome panel. Feel free to exit out of the chat if you like, and I'll catch y'all later. All right, take care everyone. Bye.
See you guys.